Hi, welcome back. We are going to pick up where we left off, talking about natural magic and the elements. Before we begin, I just want to talk about how, when I was a child and we were in school and we heard that like there was going to be a documentary film, um, when you're young and they send you all to the cafeteria or the gym to watch the films. In those days, when we heard that the film was going to be shown, it was like, yay, we've got a break from real classroom work, right? These were the times that we would drowse and doze off while Walter Cronkite or somebody boring talked, right? And but some of those films were very interesting, and I would closely watch those that involved the rivers or mountains or volcanoes or the ocean or the weather. And I think all children do, because innately as children, on some level, we know that energy. We understand the elements are powerful. I remember watching one such film after describing the creation of the canyon by the erosion action of a river. The screen was filled with these sharp, angular cliffs and spectacularly weathered mountains. And the narrator says, "See how the elements have carved these hills." Hmm. That was my true introduction to the elements. Naturally, the narrator was referring to the wind, the water, the sun, and the way in which weather shapes and transforms our landscape. But the word elements was permanently imprinted in my mind from that day forward. Many years later, I discovered the origins of that term. The elements were more than just weather. They were thought to be the four creative energies of the universe. This idea was crafted long ago and refined in ancient Greece and still accepted by many today. My name is Earth Song for a reason, because I understand, connect, appreciate, and thank the elements daily and sing their praises. It's time that you understand why and how to do the same. So, in these discussions, I want you to keep in mind that elements are present both in physical form, such as a handful of dirt, and in unmanifested, non physical, ethereal form, all around you right now. All around you. It's the elements that are not in physical form yet. Additionally, all of the elements emerge from the Akasha, which is the source of all energy. We will discuss it after we cover the first four. But I want you to keep in mind that when you see a pentagram, a five-pointed star, and it's used as a religious symbol for many, I want you to remind yourself that this is not the devil's five-point star. This is God's five-pointed star. Every one of those points stand for one of the five elements: earth, air, water, fire, and source at the top. Let's begin with Earth. Earth is our mother. It's as fertile and nurturing as farmland, as moist as soil, as dry as sand. In its physical manifestation, such as a stone, Earth represents the densest of the elements. If you press your hand against fresh dirt, you feel its stability, its earthiness. Know that within its fertile surface is where we've raised our food, and on it we live our lives, and within it we bury our loved ones that have passed. We could not exist in this form without Earth. But our planet is simply a manifestation of this element. True Earth energy also exists within us, within the universe at large. Some symbolic associations with Earth and you can think about this as like the most basic aspects of the element. In basic nature would be fertile, moist, nurturing, stabilizing, grounding. Gravity in itself is a manifestation of this element of Earth. The type of energy that it is receptive. Its color is green, which comes from the living plants. Its places would be caves and canyons, chasms, forests, grooves, groves, valleys, crevices, fields, farms, gardens, arboreturums, parks, plant nurseries, farmers markets, kitchens, baby nurseries, basements, mines, and holes. The rituals that you would perform with earth magic would be money, prosperity, fertility, stability, grounding, employment. In tarot, the earth signs of Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn are always represented with the pentacles, the coins, the money. They are the stability. They are the producers of fertile, prosperous prospects. The herbs that would be used or attached to the earth excuse me, I'm just getting over a cold, would be earth-smelling plants, such as patchouli, which I personally don't care for, or vetiver, moss, lichens, lichens, I don't know why I do this, nuts, dry or stiff plants, heavy low-growing plants, roots. The stones that would be attributed to earth magic would be the heavy or the opaque, such as coal, or green stones like peridot or emerald, jade, even though jade is in the water. The metals attributed to the earth magic and rituals would be iron or lead. The musical instruments that are attached to earth magic would be any percussion instruments, but particularly drums. Creatures that are symbolism of earth magic are the dog, the horse, the earthworm, the gopher, the ant, the cow, any burrowing creatures. Um, Winter would be its season, time of darkness. Its place of greatest darkness and most powerful direction would be the north. Its appropriate time for doing earth magic would be night. And the magical tools that would be used would be mainly the pentacle, excuse me. And it can be metal, wooden, clay. It can be a disc that's inscribed with a 5-pointed star. The point of life or point in life that's attributed to earth magic is advanced age, because the older we are, the more grounded we become. And of course, the astrological signs I've already mentioned: Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. This would be the first element that those 3 signs would master, because they'll be the easiest to master, being their element. And then you can move forward and become an avatar of the other elements as well. And before you know it, you're not only an earthbender, you're also an airbender, waterbender, firebender, or avatar, or master, whatever you want to call it. The particular one of the senses that's attributed with earth is touch, because you're hands-on. If you're an earth element, you're hands-on, you're a builder, you're a creator. You're a natural creator, actually. You can see it in your mind's eye before you put it on paper or create it. You're a touchy-feely person. You understand things by touching and feeling. Your natural symbols would be salt, clay dish of fresh soil, rocks, sheaves of wheat, acorns, corn husks, nuts. These would be the type of things that you would use as natural tools for earth magic. And then, of course, there are symbols as well. Indigenous symbols that are used to attribute or assign the element of earth. You have the upside down triangle with a line through the point at the bottom. You also have the circle with the plus sign in the center that, perfectly dissects all 4 ways, all 4 directions. And then also just a simple square is another symbol to represent earth, and can be used in earth magic, especially if you're doing a sigil for earth magic. The symbols are very helpful. So the types of earth magic that things would be governed over would be like your gardening, growing things, whether it's growing a job, growing a business, growing a family, growing a garden, growing things, right? Magnets are also governed by the earth element. Images, self-image, and the images we have of others, or the idea of who they are, our perspective, is governed by earth magic, as well as the use of mirrors, reflections, seeing things, stones, trees, again, because of structures, you're creators, you're hands-on if you're an earth element. Knots for tethering or binding, or cutting cords, restricting, would be, the tools of magic, or the the things of magic that are governed by the earth elements. Now I want to talk about air for a moment. And I just want to say that I feel like scientists and magicians may have a very different view concerning the element of air. But we all agree that it's vital to human survival. Without air, we would perish. Air is power of movement, of action, of freshening, and intelligence and thought. It's the invisible yet quite real mixture of gases that we breathe in every day. In magical terms, air is also the power of the mind and the force of the intellect. Go to a place with clean air and breathe deeply. Touch a feather. Inhale the fragrance of a heavily scented flower. Study an intricately patterned leaf. Experience the wonders of the manifestation of this element. Remember, too, that we possess air energy within ourselves. Its basic nature is flying, action, moving, freshness, intelligence, suspension, suspending. Sound is a manifestation of this element. Its type of energy is projective. Its color is yellow, the yellow of the sun, the sky at dawn. Its places would be mountaintops, windswept plains, cloudy skies, high towers, airports, schools, libraries, offices, travel agencies, and psychiatrists' offices. The rituals that you would perform with air magic would be those for travel or instruction, study, freedom, knowledge, recovering lost items. The types of rituals that you would perform for the air element would be tossing objects into the air or suspending tools in high places and balancing them, fanning light objects, visualization, and positive thinking. All very effective and important elements of air magic. Its herbs would be anything with a fragrance, flowers, pungent or sweet, culinary herbs, again, pungent, bitter, sweet. Airy ones are the most fun though. Dill, any kind of finely veined or windswept leaf type herb, ferns. The stones that would be attributed to the air element would be the lighter stones, such as pumice, or transparent stones like mica. The metals that you would attribute to air magic would be copper or tin. All wind instruments, particularly the flute, are the musical instruments that would be used in air magic. The creatures that you would attribute to air magic and learn from would be the spider, all birds, and all winged insects. The season, of course, would be spring because it is the time of freshness. And its direction would, of course, be the east because it is the place of sunrise. time of day that would be perfect for doing air elemental magic would be at dawn, because it's from the east, right? And the most practical and favorable tool to use is the wand, but also the pendulum. The point of life, or in life, where the air elemental magic begins, is in infancy. It is highly recommended that if you want to master the element of air magic, or the magic of the air element, I would advise that it's because it's your sign, your energy of your sign, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. The senses that are attributed to the air element is hearing, smelling, and speaking. The natural symbols would be a feather, or incense smoke, or fragrance from flowers. Its symbolism would be the circle with the dot in the very center, a very full arrow that looks almost like an arrowhead that curves, and the upright triangle with the line across the peak at the top of the triangle. The type of magic that is governed by air would be divination, concentration, thought, cleverness, visualization, imagery, trinkets, wind magic, action-oriented, casting, calling, summoning, or commanding. And now we'll move on to fire. Fire is the creator and the destroyer. It warms our homes, cooks our food, and fuels our passions. Unlike other elements, fire cannot exist in physical form without consuming something else. Thus, fire transforms objects into a new form: heat, light, ash, smoke. On a sunny day, go outside at noon and press your receptive hand, your left hand, against a warm rock. Smell the smoke from a burning fire. Gaze into a candle's flame. Immerse yourself in fire energy and realize that it also exists within you. Fire must be controlled to benefit us. When we light a candle, we call upon its power, but we also limit it. This is necessary if its physical forms are to be useful. But even a raging forest fire actually helps the earth, clearing away the underbrush and encouraging dormant seeds to burst into new life. So, fire magic is very important, very useful, but needs to be controlled. And I just want to pause for a moment and add to that the fire energies of the zodiac, also, that is their greatest lesson, to control their fire. This would be Leo, Scorpio, Sagittarius, or not Scorpio, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. So its basic nature, the fire element, is purification, destruction, cleansing, energetic, sexual, forceful, passionate. Heat is a manifestation of this element. Its energy is projected. It comes out of the power hand. Its places that are attributed to fire energy are the deserts, hot springs, volcanoes, stove ovens, fireplaces, bedrooms for sex, weight rooms, locker rooms, saunas, and athletic fields. And I think really even your bathroom, honestly, your shower, you know. The rituals that you would be focused on to use fire energy magic would be spells of protection or courage, sex magic, energy, strength, authority, and banishing negativity. And no, please don't take me wrong when I speak of sex magic, because sexual magic is a very beautiful, sacred thing that should never be used for ego, ever. And generally does not even incorporate penetration. And that's as much as I'm going to say on that. The forms of rituals that you would use for fire magic would be burning, smoldering, or even heating things. Excuse me. The herbs that you would attribute to the fire magic would be things that are thorny or that would sting you, like stinging nettle, or that are hot, you know, thistles also. Milk thistle is a stinging type plant. The locust tree can be used in this type of magic. Chili peppers, any type of cacti, anything stimulating such as coffee beans or chocolate cocoa beans. Generally, the seeds is what you would use, but you can substitute the ground coffee if necessary, or the ground up cocoa. The stones that would be attributed to fire energy would, of course, be the red or fiery ones, such as jasper or volcanic rock, lava rock, clear rocks like the quartz crystal. The metals that would be attributed to fire magic would be gold or brass. The musical instruments would be all of the string instruments, but favorably the guitar. The creatures, and I know a lot of fire signs that are not going to be crazy about this, but the creatures that are attributed to the fire element are the snake and the cricket and the lizard and the praying mantis, the ladybug, the bee, the scorpion, and the shark. And the manta ray. The season, of course, would be summer because that's the time that heats up. And the direction would be the south because that's the place of heat. Its time of day to do its magic would be noon, high noon, the hottest point of the day. Your main magical tool that you would use for fire magic would be a knife. The point in life that's attributed to fire energy is your youthfulness, your youthful ages, because of the fiery passion. And of course, I've already named your astrological signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. The sense that is attributed to fire is sight. The natural symbols would be flame, lava, or any heated object. And the written or drawn symbols would be the circle with a triangle upright inside of it, or of course to draw fire licks, or to simply draw an upright triangle. The types of magic that are attributed to fire energy would be candle magic, storms, parting the storm, anything that has to do with time or the stars, creative sparks, imagery, past, present, future, speeding up, slowing down of time, altering time, um, destination goals, a specific thing has to be done by a specific time type of a spell would be used there. Anything that sparks wonderment and creative, imaginative, youthful energy would be attributed to proper and adequate fire magic. Last but not least of the four main elements is water. Water is very cleansing and healing and psychic. It's a loving element. It washes over us when we see our mate. It supports us when we swim. It gives us life when we are dehydrated. It cleanses us when we are dirty. Dew dusts the plants after the sun sets. Rainstorms drench us and wash away the old. And by the way, rainstorms are one of the manifestations of this element that you can actually do. Taste pure water. Move your hand through a stream, a lake, a pool, or a bowl of water. Feel its cool liquidity and its soft touch. Listen to the water trickling in the pool. As you do these things, remember that within ourselves, we also contain water energy as well. The energy of this element is vital to our well-being as humans, for it contains within it the essence of love. Love is the underlying reason for all magic, and water is love. That's why the water signs of Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces are attributed to love. In the tarot, they have the hearts or the cups full of love. The basic nature of this energy is flowing, purifying, healing, soothing, and loving. Its type of energy is receptive. We accept it. We bring it in. Its color is blue, from the hue of deep water. Its places would be lakes, springs, waterfalls, streams, rivers, beaches, oceans, wells, swimming pools, bathtubs, showers, bedrooms for sleep, health spas, steam bathrooms, fountains. Its ritual purposes would be for purification, for love, for psychic awareness, dreams, to aid in sleep, to give peace, for marriages and friendships. Its form of ritual is to dilute, placing into the water, washing away with the water, bathing, or embracing. The herbs that would be attributed to the water element are the aquatic herbs, such as the water lily or seaweed, fleshy succulents like lettuce, loving, as in the rose and the gardenia, but generally all flowers. The stones that would be attributed to water magic would be the transparent or the translucent stones, such as the opal, excuse me, the moonstone, the sunstone, amethysts, aquamarine, any type of blue or purple stones, tourmalines, etc. The metal that would be attributed with the water element would be mercury, also known as quicksilver, and silver itself, and copper. The musical instruments that would be attributed and used for water magic would be any type of resonant metal, such as a tuning fork, a singing bowl, the triangle, cymbals, a bell. The creatures that are attributed to the water energy are the cat and the frog, the turtle, the dolphin, the whale, the otter, the seal, pretty much most fish, and all shellfish. And its season of the water element is autumn, the time of harvest. Its direction is in the west, in its place of the setting sun. The most optimal time to perform water magic would be at dusk. The magical tools that you would use to perform water magic would be the cauldron or a cup, but even a spoon or a ladle. The point in life that is most attributed with the water sign, the water element, would be maturity, a mature age point of your life. And of course, I've already mentioned the astrological signs would be for Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. The sense that is attributed to the water element and the water signs is taste. And the natural symbols would be a cup of water or shells. The written or drawn symbols would be the two lines of wavy water looking sign, or the upside down triangle, or a circle with a line through the very center of it. The types of magic that the water element governs are of the sea and ice, snow, fog, mirrors, and magnets. Because there is a cleansing and moving away, and there's also a drawing in of the energies of water. It's about purity, coolness, calmness, serenity, solitude, being smooth, slippery, refreshing, malleable, wet, hydrating, ever-changing and fluid. Go with the flow. It can also be turbulent, but it's mainly of balance and peacefulness, reflection, shadows, inner and outer, yin and yang. It's all about the balance. And I would also like to just say that in learning elemental magic, you also learn to understand much more about yourself first, because you master your own element first. But then you also begin to understand better about other people. You can see why they like certain foods, or have certain hobbies or have this quirk or that one. It helps you to be more understanding and compassionate of the other people in your life. And so this is really a very beneficial thing for yourself first. But then, as I said in the first video, it's also very beneficial as service to others. And that is a small but very big way to pay it forward, by being able to relate compassionately to other people and their differences. Now, the fifth element that represents the peak at the top of the five-pointed star or the pentagram is the Akasha. The elements emerge from the Akasha, the immutable, changeless source of all energy. This is the realm of potentiality, of promise, of paths not yet taken, of unformed galaxies, of outer space. Akasha is also present within our body. Some say that it's our spark of life, that unknowable force that is called the soul. That is your Akashic energy housed within the physical body. And I feel like scientists will eventually catch up with me in understanding that that spark of the divine that is within us is literally found within our DNA. We have DNA memory. We can change ourselves on the cellular level with thought. That's huge. That's huge. If you really understand how to use it. Primarily, Akasha is the unbeingness. Its energy, which extends everywhere throughout the universe, has not yet achieved form or substance, and is the primal source of energy that creates and fuels all four elements. Because of this, it contains complete, balanced energy of earth, air, fire, and water within it. So I would like to point out some of the associations of the universal nature of the Akasha. And I feel like I need to pause there and be very clear that this is not meant to be used for magical purposes, simply to be understood. Its basic nature is the unknowable. Its type of energy is projective and receptive. Its color would be purple or black. Its places would be outer space, vacuums, or the void. Its type of rituals would be religious in nature. It has no religious form. It has no herb attributed. It has no stone or musical instrument attributed, or a creature or a season. Yet it is all seasons, but none. And it is all creatures, yet none. Its direction would be all four corners, north, east, south, and west. Also within and without, up and down, and also complete lack of direction and lack of dimension, as well as all direction and all dimension. Its time is eternal starlight. There are no astrological signs that are attributed to the Akasha, nor is there a magical tool, and its point in life would be preconception and soulness. There is no one sense attributed to it, no one astrological sign or natural symbol, or symbols at all for that matter, that can really truly embody and represent it. Always, always the Akash, the energy of the Akash or Akasha or Akashic, would be of a religious nature. Now, some people like to perform a short pre-ritual before they do their main magical course. These are simply designed to create a proper frame of mind within the worker. In this state, the magician or worker is aware of the natural forces of the earth, as well as his or her inner power. Attaining this state is indeed necessary before performing any type of natural magic ritual. If you are not able to obtain that on your own. So, performing rites such as these will awaken the magic within you. They prepare the mind, body, and the soul for the coming magical act of manifestation. They begin to rouse your personal power, readying you for the ritual that will follow. Such preparatory rites are never necessary, but you may wish to use them if you don't feel confident in yourself to do so without. There is no wrong answer here. Though the rituals aren't religious in nature, individuals with a leaning toward earth-based religions can certainly alter the words a bit to include their own religious beliefs. There's a general rite of attunement with the elements, and one to be performed at midnight that we're going to cover before I close out this video lesson. There is also a third one that you can do to attune with the ocean, and perhaps at a later date we'll cover it. But I just want to kind of give you a good example from me doing the spell, the ritual, so that you can understand the emphasis on the voice as you project the voice to create. Okay, so a general rite of preparation. You really need nothing more than yourself and a small rock and a bowl of fresh dirt, a falling feather, a candle, a dish of water. You can sit or stand in your magical place, your bedroom, your bathroom, whatever. You should, of course, be alone, and the house should be quiet. This ritual is actually best performed indoors. So on the table, you'd place the rock or the bowl of soil in the north, directly in front of you. Make sure you know your directions, right? Place it in the north. The feather shall go in the east, the candle in the south, and the dish of water to the west. These objects should be approximately 6 inches from each other. You may need a compass to discover your directions, or simply notice where the sun rises and sets in your area. This will give you a good easterly direction. And then just breathe deeply for a moment. Touch the soil, Touch the rock with your projected hand and say something like this: I call the forces of stability, foundation, and prosperity. And as you touch it, feel the earth. Feel its moist, cool fertility that it's yielding, yet strong on its surface. Visualize earth power radiating up into your hand, left hand, receptive hand. Gently touch the feather now and say the following words: I call the forces of freshness, thought, and movement. And really feel them. Feel the wind sweeping through you. Visualize the most dazzling sky that you've ever seen. Hold your palm now over the candle's flame, close enough that you can feel its warmth, but far enough away it doesn't burn you, of course. And say, I call the forces of transformation, love, and passion. And once again, don't make an empty call. Think of a roaring bonfire. Recall the love of family and friends and the passion. Feel the heat of a summer day on your skin. Now touch the water and say these or similar words: I call the forces of love, purification, and healing. And imagine yourself sliding down a waterfall or swimming, feeling raindrops splashing on your nose. Plunge into the sensation. Place your hands, palms downward, over the assembled objects, or at least near them. Don't burn yourself with the candle. And say these words with power. From the soil, from the soil, from the stone, from the windswept sky, from the flaming power cone, from the water's side, I now call the blended forces of elemented power. Come here from your primal source. Be here in this hour. And move your hands in a clockwise circle over the elemental tools while you say, Earth empowers my magic. Air empowers my magic. Fire empowers my magic. And water empowers my magic. And it is done. Now, you'll want to take a few moments to feel the energy of that and really feel the effects taking flight, the effects of that energy. Now for the midnight chant that increases your power. And this can be done before spells that you cast at midnight. This is a peaceful time and it's a conducive time to do magical work. So midnight is not the time for negative or evil rituals. It's not the witching hour. You know, let's just get that out of our heads. Some of us say that we fear the night. We usually don't fear it, but we believe that what awaits within the night is to be feared. Night isn't evil. It's the twin of day. It's the domain of the moon and the stars. It's traditionally a time of magical power because fewer humans are actually awake. And that's less distractions, less odds of probability of things messing up, and gives our mind peace to work. It's best to perform these rituals outside, but if you can't do that, you could stand in front of an open screen door. A screen door or an open window as well. But if you can, go outside into the inky void of night, just for a few minutes before midnight. Stand with your legs slightly apart and raise your hands. Feel the soothing yet potent energies of the night filtering into your consciousness, brushing against your body, tugging against your hair. Take 3 deep breaths. Listen. Wait. Gaze up at the beautifully darkened sky. If there's the moon or clouds present, watch them for a moment. Otherwise, stare at the stars. Just calm yourself, prepare yourself, embrace the night, allow it to wrap around you. Open your consciousness to the living reality of the night. Let it enfold you. Feel the embrace of its timeless energy and sense them transforming you. Then I want you to say the following or similar words in a hushed, whispered voice to bring elemental powers of the night into you. O stars, whirling through the inky round, O power hiding from the light, black curling on the darkened ground, secrets biting in the night, Eben's treasures and the owl's sweet cry, O haunting forces of the deep, misty measures of the circling sky, O daunting forces that you keep. Come to me with your shadowed light, fill me with your magic power, enfold me with your arcane might, be here at this mystic hour. After saying this, allow your arms to fall back to your sides. And do not be afraid. The cool energies of the earth cannot and will not harm you. Willingly accept them. Drink in the power that the night, the sky, and the earth have all given to you. Show your apprehension to the elements by facing north and raising your hands in honor. Continue this process as you turn to the east, the south, and the west. Next, lift your hands far above your head, reaching into the night itself. Then touch them lightly to the ground before your feet. The time has come. The power of midnight vibrates within you. Any form, any type of positive spell may now be done with great efficiency. I want to go over a few quick things. No, I'll skip it. I'll wait till later, because that'll take more than a few minutes, I think. So we'll close this lesson for now. And again, I hope that it was enlightening, empowering, encouraging, exciting, and all of those wonderful things for you. And we'll cover more in a later segment. Until then, be well and be blessed in love and light.